I said good morning and
Good morning.
welcome to the show, Sonny Morgan.
Well, thank you. Good morning to everybody.
Everybody, the reason that we invited you is this beautiful song, She's Still Going Strong.
Right.
Tell about a little bit about this song.
Okay. Well, that's She's Still Going Strong was written by my songwriter. His name is Mark Namor, and he's written for a few other country artists such as Shenandoah. He wrote Moon Over Georgia, and he's been with me ever since I started. And that song was specifically written for me, and we recorded that song, I guess, probably in October of last year in Nashville at the Hilltop Recording Studios. Buddy Hyatt was my producer, and I had some great musicians that played along with it. One, Brent Mason, who is the lead guitar player on it, and we had Steve Henson, who is the steel guitar player on it, and he is also the steel guitar player for Loretta Lynn, and I had Donnie Wilson, the drummer. He was with George Strait for quite a while, and just had a bunch of all-star musicians playing that with me, and we had such a great time recording that song. It was a lot of fun, and it just fits my wheelhouse. I mean, I just love the song, and it's got a great meaning to it, and it fits this day and age, and we had some fun recording it. It was a lot went on in that recording studio that day.
If you tell him who wrote the text of this song?
Who wrote it was Mark Namor. Mark Namor.
I have seen in your biography that you before you walking in the car branch.
Yep. I started back. My father and my grandfather were both car dealers, and so it was in my blood, and so I was. I had 8 car dealerships at one time, and I met a guy about 11, 12 years ago now by the name of George Strait, who I'm sure you've heard of him.
Yeah.
And I sold him 10 or so Bentleys and Rolls Royces and things like that, and he was a major influence in me getting started in all this stuff. And I guess I've been in it now for about 7, 8 years, and the actual person that really encouraged me to really sing was a guy by the name of Ray Benson, who has a little group here in Texas called Asleep at the Wheel. They've been doing that for about 50 years now, and Ray told me I sang with him on stage at one of his shows, and he said, you just need to get out and start doing this. And so I sent some demo tapes up to Nashville to one of the agents out there, and that next weekend I flew out there, and he said, let's get you recording, and I came out with my first album called It's a Beautiful World, which the title song, It's a Beautiful World, was written by Daryl Singletary.
Yeah.
And I was the last artist that he wrote a song for that before he passed away. So I feel, that song means a lot more than just singing it. It means a lot to me from a personal standpoint.
That's what we understand. We understand.
Yeah.
George Strait have the push in your back to the studio.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was big, and he was big influence in me recording.
Yeah, and then you go singing. How long now you are singing?
Well, I've sung for all my life. Basically, I sang in church as a young lad, and sang all the way up through, and still do that way. And so, but professionally, I guess it's been about 6 or 7 years now. And I've got 2 albums out, and I've had very good success with both. It's a Beautiful World, which I don't think it got a lot of airplay over in Europe, which I'm going to probably have re-release that song because it's such a wonderful song. And there's that song went way up on the charts in Texas, and we had a good time with it. It was a lot of fun doing that first album because I never really, the first time I recorded one was, about 6 months after they told me to come to Nashville and start recording. So I put together about 10 or 11 songs. I don't remember how many's on that album, but it was quite an experience for me. And that album came out, I guess we put that out about 4 or 5 years ago now, I guess it is.
Yeah. But you're singing everywhere with Ray Stevens by Cabaret in Nashville.
Yeah. I went out there. When I went out to record that first album, we went to see Ray Stevens, and we were sitting there at. He's got a beautiful little place there in Nashville now, and he had a piano player. He's really a good piano player, and the guy said, "I understand you're a recording artist," and I said, "Yeah," and he said, "Get up here and start singing." So I sang a couple of songs there at Ray Stevens Cabaret, so that was a lot of fun, and had a good audience for me. And matter of fact, they kept wanting me to sing more, and I was getting in the way of one of the other singers there that they'd paid to come in there and do that. So that was a lot of fun. We had a good time that night. But it's been a good ride. One of these days I'd like to do a little tour over in Europe. When things kind of clear up over there and COVID and all this other stuff that's going on, I'd sure like to get over there and do a little tour across Europe.
You have two different albums. It's a Beautiful World and I'm Your Man.
Yeah, I'm Your Man. That song was written by Mark Namor and Spooner Odom. And Spooner Odom, if you think back a little bit in time, Spooner Odom was the guy that wrote "When a Man Loves a Woman" by Percy Sledge, and the Box Tops. I'm Your Puppet. And I think he did the Letter by the Box Tops. And he's also he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and he was a keyboard artist for Neil Young for 20 years, and he co-wrote "I'm Your Man" with Mark Namor. And they're out of Muscle Shoals, Alabama, which that used to be the place in the world to record. And the Rolling Stones have recorded there, and of course Aretha Franklin, and a lot of the big old Hank Williams and a lot of the old country people used to go down to Muscle Shoals and record. They had this studio down there called the Fame Studio, Fame, and it's still there. But Nashville, has gotten to be Music City. I recorded that first album at Ocean Way Studios, which is on Music Row, and then the second album I did at Hilltop Studios, which was the first studio that was built in the Nashville area. And it's kind of a landmark there, and both of them are real good. I don't say there's one better than the other because it has the same, the acoustics are about the same, and I use my same sound engineer. Zach was my engineer there, and same producer and the same guys that played on my first album played on my second. So it sounds so consistent. If you listen through both albums there, you can tell that it's the same everything. So
I must give you a compliment that you have a very beautiful voice.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Very much. And in this latest song, she's still going strong. You're hearing that you have a beautiful voice with when I try to explain with deep song.
Yeah. I tell you, part of it was just singing all my life, but the other part of it is I met a young lady by the name of Kim Sandowski, and Kim is a voice coach, and she's the voice coach of Kenny Chesney and Brad Paisley and Alan Jackson and all those guys.
Yeah.
And I met her in Nashville, and she really did a lot for my voice, and not so much of the tone or anything. It's just some of the way, the style and all. She picked out what was the best of my ability to be the style of my voice, and really gave me some great pointers. And I really think that things really changed when I met her. I mean, she pulled out the best of me, and she told me one day, she said, you're I tell you, she discovered, of all things, Beyonce, of all things. And I said, well, you discovered me? And she said, no, she's not. She said, no, that won't happen, but you do have star quality. So that made me feel good, gave me a lot of confidence. And it's fun. I'm working on a couple more songs right now that I'm going to go record probably in the next couple of months. And I'm going to record and release a couple of songs instead of waiting and releasing a whole album. I'm just going to do 2 or 3 at a time, and then once I get 10 or so recorded, then I'll put them on an album and have them for sale. But I think I want to do this, rather than having a whole album and spending a half a year doing it. Okay. I think I'm just going to do 2 or 3 at a time, and then once I get 10 or 12 of them, then I'll put an album together and send it out.
Okay. For the listeners, they want more information about you. It's a beautiful website, Sonny with Y, SonnyMorganmusic.com.
Right, that's exactly right. Or you can go on Facebook and go on Sonny Morgan Music, or you can go, if you want to go deeper, I've got a fan page now called Fans of Sonny Morgan, and they can go in there. They're going to have to be invited in, but all they have to do is just go in there and say they want to be in there, and I'll my people that worked on the website and the Facebook page, they'll let them in. There's no problem there. They just don't want some,
We're going to play the song, She Is Still Going Strong. You can better announce by yourself. On the first place, I thank you that you was this morning here in the show. Thank you.
So much.
You can better announce by yourself the song, She's Still Going Strong.
All right, I can do that. Hi, y'all. This is Sonny Morgan, and really appreciate you being there in Spain. And here's my new song, my new release called She's Still Going Strong.